Hey guys, No Nonsense Know-How here again. This time I'm out in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania to pick up a 1941 Buick Special coupe. So a viewer of the channel reached out. He said, hey, I just bought this Buick at auction. It's only a couple hours from you, and I was thinking maybe you might be able to help me out with picking it up and getting it home. Well, he's all the way in Australia, so probably going to be shipping this home, but he's also thinking about maybe taking a trip to do a cruise in it and bring it down to Texas, where he might ship it out of there. So I said, why don't I go pick it up, assess, and we'll go from there. It's been sitting for 38 years, and judging by the looks of it, seems to be the case. Maybe a barn find or garage find, but definitely kept undercover. So let's do a quick sweeping tour of this. You know, at first glance, the chrome, it's got some pitting and the green coming out, some corrosion. Oh, that grill's a little loose. Buick shield on the front. And I mean, at first glance, it's looking pretty good, really. You can see on the tires, wherever it was sitting, it definitely kind of sat down. But those tires are, they pumped up and they seem to be holding. Special. See, somebody said how to open the hood right there. These are side opening hoods on these. So I'll just sweep you around so you can get a good idea of the condition. See what the gas. Oh, that cap's a little locked on there. Maryland plates, last registered 1986. So yeah, that would be about 38 years, right? Buick 8. This has got the straight 8 in it. I like how the, oh, never mind. I thought the handle, the light was built into the handle. That's kind of cool looking. Let's see, at some point, definitely had a paint job. Somebody scuffed it up, like a scuff and shoot on there. The fender's kind of flapping in the wind. Oh, glass is in decent shape, you know, usable. I like the old antennas on these. They actually, I don't want to break it, but they come out, spin up, boom, there you go. Looks like it's got a pop-up ventilator too. And let's see. Oh, it feels surprisingly solid. Got the title here, and oh boy. Yeah, this has had some critters living in it for a little while. A couple cigarette butts down there. And it certainly wasn't a climate controlled area. As you can see, the rust starting all over everything. Let's see if these windows go down at all. Get a little ventilation in here. Yeah, it actually doesn't smell terrible considering what it looks like. Got some reeds here. Recycling. These look old. And they're all chewed up too. There it is, published January 1984. So that would be pretty consistent. Let's see how we're looking under the hood. Oh, we are looking all complete. Got dueling horns, voltage regulator, have access to the exhaust intake manifold, carburetor, the oil bath air filter over here. Fan belts, good shape, looks like an original radiator. Looks like missing the battery. Of course, I could just pop the hood on that side to check over there. I like that these got the clear glass fuel bowl, so you can easily see what's going on. Pop and drop if you got to clean it, no problem. Fabulous design right there. 1941 model 46S. Buick Motor Division, General Motors Corporation, Flint, Michigan. And this is your secondary release, but look at the main latching mechanism. Like that's heavy duty. Now on the passenger side, we get a good look at the old 8 spark plugs. Look at that long engine. It's actually not that long for an 8-cylinder. That must be really small bores. I think these are what, like a 248 cubic inch, 240, I forget what they are. I'll have to look that up. Big old fuel pump that is rebuildable. And where's our dipstick? Here we go. Let's see. We got black oil that's at the low mark. Not a bad sign. Well, time to get this loaded up and see if we can't get it running and driving. Assume this is a neutral and that's why you put blocks. Yep. Good roller. You know, I love towing old cars because you can pretty much hook on everything. It's all so heavy duty. But look at this. Boom. It has a little tow hook on each side. Take a little stroll through Shippensburg downtown, see what it looks like. Never been through. And maybe grab a bite to eat. Beautiful area here. Got the old courthouse on the left. I love all these brick houses. Very cute. I think I'll stop in this place, Maxie's. Get good parking out front. Maxie's Brew House. Low-key joint. I'll give the food a 5-star. Got a chicken quesadilla, cold brew, and it is tasty.
In 1911, Hiram Bingham discovered this lost city of the Incas.
All right, well that was a nice dinner. It's time to head on home. Now the number one question, is this engine seized up? Let's pull these plugs, see what we're looking like, and get it rotating. Just labeling the ones that are on here. Tight on these cylinder heads. Can't get a regular 13/16 or spark plug socket in there without grinding it. Luckily, I have a wide array of OEM spark plug sockets. Something like this, I'll probably do. Or this little guy. Yeah. Rich. Hollow plugs look great. No rust on the tips, which is always a good sign. Just a little rust on the outside of that one from water pulling. And that being said, I'll shoot a little lube in each cylinder and we'll see if she budges over. I'm gonna say it will. It's usually when you see rust on the plug tips, you get rusted cylinders and locked up engine. Doesn't really matter what you shoot in these cylinders, just get something in there, you know? What's cool about this hood, all right, a little heavier than I thought. Oh, that's really a two-person job. But if you're careful, you can pop the hood off by yourself. And look at that, so much more light and space now. Oh, let's see if we can budge this over. Well, a little tight. Can't really get a socket on the crank down there, the rad's in the way. There is a 1-inch bolt on that crank pulley, and I can get this 3/8 drive 1-inch socket on there, but can't seem to get it on there with the ratchet or the ratchet on the socket once the socket's on without damaging the rad. I was hoping these low profile sockets that go on a wrench Those would definitely work, but I don't have a 1-inch. I'm thinking let's just hack some of this off to make it a little shallower. All right, and I'll trim about yay much off. That'll do it. Oh, perfect. You know, some of you guys are probably saying, well, I'll just throw a battery in it and crank it, but well, if it's locked, you don't want to damage the flywheel or starter. There we go. Skinning my knuckles down on this rad. Maybe this thing's in gear. I mean, it was rolling on the trailer. Yeah, I think it was in gear. Okay, that makes sense. Well, now I can rotate it with the fan. Oops. Okay, spin this over a few times. I thought for sure it was in neutral because it was rolling, but spin it over a couple revolutions. Looks good. Let's get this out of the sun. Ah, yes, in the shade, much nicer. Let's take a look inside of this trunk. Oh, heavy lid. These mechanical struts are auto locking and they auto release. Look at that. That is awesome. Look at the action. Just keep them lubed. It's amazing that modern cars, the hydraulic struts fail within like a few years. A lot of times, some of them last. And these things, 80 years old, still work perfect. Well, we got all sorts of goodies in here. It's a nylon timing gear. Reinforced nylon, probably. We got a box of carburetors, some spare fuel pumps, and distributor caps. Super heavy duty brake fluid. Spare generator. Got a Ward's Riverside Deluxe tire, and that's where the mice made their home. Oof. That is nasty. Man, really packed it in there, huh? Had a little edge wear and cupping on this. Still a good spare, though. Okay, that's clean enough for now. Just wanted to see what kind of spare parts we have for reference. Now let's hear crank over with the plugs out. Dropped in a small motorcycle battery that's kind of dead. It's only like 10.5 volts. That should be fine. You can see this takes a very long 6-volt battery, and it is negative ground. So this should do it. Now on the starter, I guess it's gonna be one of these two that activates the drive. I can feel the Bendix is not locked up. Okay, that one, I hear a buzzer going off. So next one, oh, there we are. Oh yeah. And we need to get some spark. This ignition coil on here is kind of odd. It's, I'm just assuming this thing is all still 6 volts and hasn't been switched over, but it's a Delco Remy, made in USA. It looks pretty old, so we're assuming 6. It's got the one wire going to the distributor for the points, unless there's an electronic ignition in there. And then this big cable looking thing that goes off the back. That cable comes over to the ignition switch, which, by the way, we don't have a key for this. I didn't dig through everywhere yet. Oh, look at that ashtray. Fancy. Might get my buddy over here to help clean this out tomorrow. Well, I figured I'd see if it runs before doing all that. Don't know exactly how far we're going with this. I gotta talk with the owner. Let's see what we're looking like in the Dizzy. And those spark plug wires are just MIA. Oh, yeah, so we are points, and yeah, they always look brand new. It's like somebody threw points on it just before it parked, but they're, you know, they're corroded. And give these points a little filing. Oh yeah, lots of power. Hook our test light up to positive, and yeah, we're grounded on here. That means points are making good contact. Let's see if it blinks with the crank over. There we are. So I don't do any damage to this coil. I'm gonna use a spare I have. No external resistance required. It's a 12 volt. And with that zip tied in place, we should have spark now. No. Why not? Oh, I see why not. I don't think we have enough juice. We can drop a big 12 volt battery in here. It's not gonna harm the starter. Provided it fits. Yes. Let's see what we got now. Oh yeah, good blue spark. And boy, does that starter sound good. This thing's gonna crank over strong. I'm gonna put these plug wires back where they were, assuming somebody had the firing order proper. We're missing 2 and 6, which I should have some in my ignition coil box. Yeah. So I got the firing order up here, 16258-374. We got 1, 6. I had that on the wrong one before. 2. Let's listen to that crank over with all the plugs in. Alright, nice even compression. And I've been watching the fuel bowl over here on the filter. Nothing's come up from the tank, which is good. Because, I mean, I'm sure it's clogged and gunky, nasty back there, but we don't want to pump nothing into the carb. Because a lot of time with these carburetors, you know, we get lucky. You just throw fuel to them and they work. You know, that's always preferred. We don't have to pull them off at all. Probably should have sprayed this down before. I don't even remember if I messed with it, but yeah, I mean, working good. Linkage up here is going. And of course, there's always the people watching saying, how could you start that or try to start without cleaning the carb, you know? Through nut. Oh, there's a wing nut on the bottom of this. I assume this was an oil bath. Looks good to me though. Yeah, they went through the casting on the intake. And I'm not sure if there's supposed to be oil, but it's got nothing. The air goes in through the sides, comes up, and then up the cone to the top. And I don't know, that's just like a buffer zone around this whole thing, because it comes straight out the top across this and in. Wow, it's got another deflector over there too. Pretty neat design, really. Real quick, guys, I want to shout out to the #1 supporter of this channel, and that is you guys. Without you watching, I would not be able to do these videos. But also companies like Blaster. Well, they have sponsored this video, and they hooked me up with all the lubes and sprays that I need to get the job done. One of my favorites is their pro-grade multi-purpose lubricant that has a light vanilla scent. Thousands of uses. You can, you know, spray it on hinges, wheels, swivels, more wheels. Of course, it's not gonna make them true. That thing's pretty off. And if you're going out for a night old town, but you're feeling a little stinky, don't have deodorant, you can also give yourself a little spray of this because it smells good. So if you guys are not a fan of the PB Blast mothball smell, I see comments sometimes, you know, people don't like the smell of it, then give this a whirl. It's a good lightweight lubricant. Thank you, Blaster, for the support, and also a huge thank you to you guys that have bought merch at NoNonsenseKnowHow.com. Last month was a record-breaking one, so thank you for that. Let's dive back into it. Oh, and I was kidding about spraying yourself with this, guys. Probably not a good idea unless you're going on a date with a Motorhead chick. Then maybe. Oh, that's okay. Spin it off. We can grab a barbed MPT. And there we go. Convenient inlet. Hook our fuel up. Our starting level's right below the warning. Open this up. I hear her flowing with a few love taps so the float will seal. We've dropped an inch and good. Let's see what our height is on the side. Oh wow, it's just below the threads. Clean fuel. And I could see the float bobbing around in there, the brass float. And seeing that, I think this is gonna run perfect without cleaning. Because when the floats stock or gummed up, that means the rest of the carb probably is too. What a pumper. Oh yeah, both pumper jets shooting. Well, here we go. I presume this is gonna fire right off, provided the firing order is correct. Based on what I've seen, well, let's do it. Look at that. Right off. Woo, man. Didn't need anything. Gotta check that coolant level. I smell something burning. We got no leaks. Good sound of the exhaust. And very, very quiet engine. Oh, that's my carbon monoxide going off. Get this fan turned on. That's the smoke going off, not CO. Thing's rowdy. Nothing came up from the tank yet, you see. See how low this is. Well, there we are. It's about a gallon. Got it up to the fill level though. You always gotta leave an air gap on top of these. Otherwise it's gonna just shoot on the ground. All right, next would be an oil change. Definitely deserves that much. Well, let's take a stroll underneath, see how we're looking. See on these lower control arms, pivots worn out a little bit, but interesting suspension design. It's like a AA arm, and instead of having a shock on top, it's got these big hydraulic dampers. You can see that has like a dial on there too. You can dial it in. You see both sides of the wheel cylinders have been leaking, and just from sitting, you know, they're all so typical. And yes, the driver's side locked up. This one spins good. Now, luckily this thing was leaking oil over the years, so this is all kind of coated. See our exhaust rotted through. That's why it was so loud. And wow, like this frame, I mean, held up so good, even where the body's all rusted out. I mean, that's gonna need some attention, but the frame itself, perfect condition. It's got the X frame on it, old school galvanizing on the muffler. And these trailing arms, look at them. They go out on an angle, super long. This is not a drive shaft, it's just a casing with a drive shaft on the inside. Could be full. Well, looks like clear silicone, house silicone. Mini little transmission on there. Oh, linkage is free though, from being stored indoors and having leaking oil. This is the heater hoses come like midway down, so you got a heater box under, the like right at the passenger seat there. It's kind of interesting. And somebody had put a newer brake line, so the brake line comes in through the trailing arm, whatever you want to call that, and that's the factory location. Comes over. Now on the back, here's your shocks. It's there's no anti-roll bar, but you have these little dampers. These are leaking a touch. The gas tank rotted through. I guess we'll drop this down. I can smell it just sitting here and full of junk, That's all wire tied up to it. He's gonna have to definitely get rid of that before transporting this. Probably the biggest item gonna be preventing us from driving is this master cylinder. That's, I pushed the brake pedal before and it was rock solid, rusted up. but we might be able to clean it up and use it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get one of these same day. Let's go ahead and spill this oil out. Get to use my new 1-inch, shallow 1-inch socket. How about it? Pretty dark. Some weird looking black soot in there too, mixed in. And quite a few sparklies. I'm sure some guys are probably screaming at the screen that I should have changed it before starting it, but I've been down that road. And no, start it first, then change it. Stir up all the junk, spill it out. There's a layer of gunk on the bottom of this pan anyway. It doesn't matter if you change it first. All that's gonna get stirred up in time. The best way would be to drop the pan down. And of course, this is not that easy of a pan to get out of here. Good layer of film and crud on this plug. And even though cutting this socket down earlier was kind of a waste of time, I'm glad I did, because now, yeah, it fits perfectly in line. It used to stick up much higher than the rest. So, you know, that makes me happy. Might as well check the rest of the fluids while we're down here. Got a 9/16 square drive on the trans. I would imagine this is going to be low just because I see a little drip coming off the bottom. No, it's only about yay. Let's see how we're looking out back. A little burnt smell. I can see the pinion in there though. Teeth look nice from what I can tell. And yeah, we're just below the threads too. Would be a shame to drive this thing and burn up the differential. I've seen that happen before. You see wetness, you better check it. See what's coming out of this tank. Oh, I'll get my ratchet off of that. Oh, that's some of the stinkiest fuel I've smelled in a long time. I can't believe that carburetor wasn't all caked up. Look at the consistency. It's turning back to crude oil. That was about to fall off. Oh, I still got some weight to it. It looks like just from wiggling the line, we ended up with a little fuel leak. Yeah, rotted through right there. It's funny how different that smells though. I mean, it still smells terrible, but a much different smell being, you know, what didn't have air inside the tank to... Oh, look at that. Another mouse nest up inside of the frame. Oof. You know, to properly dispose of this, gotta at least get the liquid out. Can't just throw this thing in the trash. But yeah, that's pretty shot. Let's check the volatility of this. Because, you know, normal gas would light on a rusty rod. There it is. Still got, like, diesel wouldn't do this. I mean, it's performing like diesel. You could probably run this in diesel. Of course, if you put it on a wick, that's another story. Oh, still pretty bad. There it is. Still useful for building fires. Let's see if I can back off some of these adjusters, get the wheels spinning better. I mean, I would imagine it's probably maybe some rust jacking on the shoes or the pistons rusted and causing it to stick. But oh yeah, there we go. You know, just needed to roll. Our oil, we will add half bottle of Hyperlube zinc additive.
Yeah, oh good, mate, a bit cold, all foggy this morning. We're in winter, remember? Did you get enough on the hoist? Did you have a...
Yeah, I had a look at the underneath frame, and everything's pretty solid, you know. I mean, it needs brakes all the way around, but yeah, this engine seems like it has plenty of life left in it. So let's do an oil change on it real quick too. I don't see a an oil filter anywhere. I guess somebody probably bypassed that. Maybe it used to be mounted on the side of the block, but I think that was kind of optional on these.
But I think the guy in Baltimore might be the cheapest option, even though it'll take longer to get to Australia. But I'm not so worried about that.
And that was the owner on the phone, kind of deciding where we're gonna go from here. He wants to put some work into it, but it might just make more sense to get it shipped off over to Australia. So yeah, we're gonna figure all that out and then see where we go from there. Feels great. Burn a little bit of oil. Pretty healthy otherwise. You got Wilson over there popping his head over.
Hey, open the gate. I want to see that bad boy.
Yeah, oh yeah, pop over. Come check it out.
Over to see that. That's beautiful.
What's up? Oh. So, pretty neat, yeah. Don't see too many of these.
No, this one. If you fell in love with this and did this right, dude, this is bad.
He's gonna be shipping it out overseas and restoring it over there, which is pretty cool. Yeah, he was all worried. He's like, you think people in the video might not want to see these things shipped off and kind of like hate that? I'm like, no, there's so many.
Dude, no, they're listen, if you're willing to preserve the art, more power to you.
Exactly.
More power.
Yeah, if you're gonna put money in this old Buick 8, absolutely. Everybody watching the channel, I always see comments, your neighbors must absolutely hate you, but I mean, this is dude. This is my neighbor. It's just good vibes in this town.
Good vibes, bro.
Good vibes in this town. All right, next day, and the task is to clean this out some. I got my buddy Nick over. He's gonna do the dirty deeds here on this side. Got anything interesting? Pack of cool menthol Kings, old Rainbow, and anything in the glove box. Oh man! All right, Nick. Well, yeah, I'll let you have fun with this. Yeah, floors. Somebody put some sheet aluminum down. You want a face mask or anything, or no? You good?
I've learned if I put safety glasses on or face mask on, that's when I get it in the eye. And that's what happened. As soon as I put the safety glasses on, I did 80% of that trailer grinding, and as soon as I put the mask on, boom, right in my eye.
And I don't think the mice have lived in here in quite some time, so it doesn't really smell that bad. But
yeah, they had their whole family in here.
Oh, you got some extra gloves.
Shit.
Oh, look at that. Boy, these were like rats living in here. Look at the size of those turds. Oh my gosh. Oh, this registration's from 1983. Pull it up that way all this junk doesn't get into the grass.
Do you want these?
No, yeah, trash all that stuff. Yeah, because I think with importing this into Australia, they're not going to want to bring all this nasty stuff in, you know.
Yeah, right.
Now, I did break this brake pedal loose and got that moving good. So I'm going to try filling the master up, see what it does, and get a little bit of brakes. Actually not too bad in there, just bone dry. Fill it rolling up. So underneath the back seats, he found this was completely packed with mice.
Yeah.
Well, nesting anyway. And underneath the rear cushion, we had to gut this whole thing out. It was just disgusting. Already smelling better in here too.
Thank you. I actually like the old car smell.
Oh yeah?
Hey, ever since I was younger, you can buy the old road onions, you always smell that like that.
Yeah, I wonder what the heck this is made out of. That's plywood, huh? It's another day where a trash guy's gonna be like, what the heck? Just ran over and balanced these wheels. Got for the 67 Mustang. Mounted up some BFGs. These are some Magnum 500 replicas, and if you look up close, you know, not the best quality in the world. See how the chrome holds up, but they look good. One of them was bent, so I wrote bent on there, put it on the back. Slightly bent anyway. I noticed, unlike most wheels, these are full welded around basically the entire thing. This cuts the blue pretty good. Usually use like Windex, but Simple Green works a little better. We'll vacuum that stuff out of there too. There's a heater core there because I see the heater hoses go in, and oh yeah, the heater core wraps around the edge of it. Look at that.
The first heated seat, maybe?
Yeah. These pot metal handle ripped off. Again, a little corrosion starting there, or maybe a hairline crack. Underneath this seat, there's like a pile of worms. See them all? Dried worms. For a little light duty cleaning. And so here's a little before. I know it's not great paint, but I think we can get this looking a little cleaner, at least get the windows good enough to see through. This thing's kind of light duty, but yeah.
Something like the hot pressure is going through it also.
He asked me if the paint's good. I said, "Ah, not really." Yeah. Somebody hit with a, hardware store paint. Well, that came out pretty good considering. He's going to do all the windows on the inside now. Other things on the agenda today is hitting the whole underside of the 67 Mustang with Rust-Oleum before I go putting the new brake lines or anything. This is, Peterson Restorations did all the metal work and it is beautiful. Everything's seam sealed, but figure we'll get her looking gloss black under here. And boy, this is rewarding. I mean, you guys don't usually see me paint much of anything, but underneath here, heck yeah, I'm gonna do a couple coats. I'll be looking great. All right, here's somebody barking to come out. Oh, been sleeping all morning. What are you doing? What we gonna do? What we gonna do today, huh? Come on. Let's stretch those legs out. Gus, what do you think of this car? Huh? What's this, boy? Some good snips in here? Come on, let's go for a car ride. Come on, Gus. Gus, come on, let's go for a car ride. Nope. No interest. Made by Harrison, model 195-1200, Lockport, New York. Well, 11 cans of paint later, and here's how we're looking, as you might expect. Nothing special, but rust-proofed for the most part. I'm going to hit some of the seams with undercoating as well, and then the rest with surface shield.
It don't matter who's in Austin, Hot Wheels is still king.
Nothing like some summer showers. Cool down a little bit. Well, not gonna get brakes today. It needs parts. Master cylinder, I'm getting flow through it, but zero pressure coming out, so the seals are just completely shot. Needs one of those, some brake lines, all the brake hoses, wheel cylinders, shoes, drums, cut them, you know, the whole nine, the usual. I mean, I'd say in this video we made a good amount of progress. It's probably gonna have to get cleaned further before he imports this, would be my guess, but if you guys have ever done any of that, you know, let me know what your experience has been. Just gotta wait to hear back, you know, from the owner and see what he wants to do from here. How much further we're gonna go with it, or is he gonna get it imported? We shall see. Now I'm gonna back it on into the yard here. You know, because I got plenty of parking spaces around here. Back right into the beehive. And that's it. Let's look at the gauges. I don't know if the temp or oil works. Let's find out. Let's stall real quick. Yeah, the oil pressure gauge still works. Look at that. Look at that. Amazing. And by the way, I looked up a diagram of this engine, and yes, the oil filter is supposed to be mounted right here. So it's been bypassed. It's missing. And yeah, it'll live here till we figure out what to do. And like always, I will be sure to update you guys in a future video what the outcome is, if it's not like a full video of doing the work to it, or second channel video, whatever. There will be a closure. That's gonna wrap this one up, guys. I'm gonna go get cleaned up and take this new John boat, well, it's not a John boat, but like runabout boat out and enjoy the rest of the nice weather. So really appreciate you tuning in, especially if you watch this far, and see you guys again soon. NNKH. Just a beautiful day for the water up on the old pillar support, the old train bridge, and it was put up in like the 1800s. You know, and chain with double Petzl anchors, still holding up. Good enough. Just can't beat the weather. Love the summertime.